All right, we're going live. I'm up here standing. He's like, why is Khaliq just looking at us? Okay, I didn't see the little red light come on, but it's on now, so I don't have red light fever. This is Khaliq Glover, also known as Khaliq-O-Vision, and we're getting started with our regular hangout that we do for all you musicians and talented people out there, creatives that you want to do better in the music industry and beyond, because this isn't just for musicians, although that's our main focus and what most of us do. But many of you are in different areas of the music industry, or want to know what some of the options are. A lot of people that we interface go and handle all different things. So music side, people are doing videos, movies, television, all kinds of different things. Some people are in support roles and all that. And it's my intention to kind of share and bat things back and forth with people to cover all the different areas. We've just got it covered, and there's a world full of information with a world full of people that can be helpful to all of us in the way that we try to improve our craft in all the different areas. So that's the purpose of our hangout and why we do this. I'm always on the mission to try to keep it going regularly, and sometimes we dig in on specific subjects. Other times we go for just what comes up at the moment, whatever's hot or on somebody's mind. Every now and then we take a left turn or whatever, and if we get off topic, bear with us, because if it's good, I just let it go off the topic, because it's like, this is some good stuff, we need to keep it going. So we're not real rigid here and everything. It's very liquid and fluid and everything. So I want you guys to know that we do this for you, sharing from all different ways and angles that we can do it. Welcome, and hang out with us for the next little bit, and enjoy, learn. If you got here from the link and you want, if you saw the link on Pensado Students, or if you're on one of my lists where you're coming in and watching from the outside, if you want to join us on the inside, you can go to the Pensado Students Facebook group. I posted the link there, and come on in. We can hold up to 10 people on the inside, and we got some of our regular folks that are here. We got Bill Kamek, and we got Jason Brown, and got Joseph Baffy. We got Mitchell. I keep forgetting. What's your last name, man? Yeah, I'm mute for a second.
Mitchell Heigl.
Okay, and then we got Vladi here. I felt Vladi was going to be on today. I called Mitchell Vladi because got the name swapped up. But what's up, man? And what time in the morning is it for you there now?
Oh, it's nighttime right now. 10 p.m.
Oh, it's 10 p.m. Okay, cool. And what about you, Mitchell? What time is it for you right
Nine
now?
fifteen.
9:15?
1 hour, one hour time difference only.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. And everybody else here so far is U.S. based, but I'm sure as we go along, we're going to have different people come in from all over the world. And guys, today what I wanted to do, we're going to be checking a couple of things. I want to carry over for some of the previous conversations that we had about dealing with effects and injecting and adding depth to mixes, and the things that can help you spread out and make your music sound wider, taller, deeper, and just the different colors that it takes, and some of the things that you can use to inject it beyond the standard. Everybody going for EQ and compression and everything. So one thing that we wanted to do, and we're going to try to see if we can do it too, is with Jason. Bill gave Jason a tip and gave us all a tip last time about using a software program on the Mac called Audio Hijack, in conjunction with trying to do these hangouts, where you can inject your DAW into this hangout. Now this is unknown territory right now, because everybody has not had a chance to check it in situations like this. So we're probably going to be doing a real-time test now. So if we need a moment to kind of sort it out and move or change things here and try some things out, please bear with us and have some patience. It's all for your benefit, because what we're trying to do is get on the inside where people can share their own sessions, whether it's Pro Tools, Logic, or Studio One, Cubase, whatever it is you use. if you're on a PC, whatever programs you may use there, when we get this thing down where everybody can do it from finding good common ground to get in on the Hangout, oh man, it's going to be on. It's really going to be on because that way we can really dig in. Otherwise, if we can't get that, what we'll do is we'll just have the person play it for you over their speakers, and you won't get the direct output, but you'll still be able to hear, and then we can discuss it. So either way, you're going to benefit. So Jason, I wanted to get back to you and see, are you going to be able to do that? You think it's okay? Have you had a chance to test it all? We don't hear you, Jason. Unmute yourself real quick. Yeah, unmute your microphone, Jason. There you go.
How about now?
We
Okay.
got you.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm hoping I got it right. I don't know if you still hear that static, Phil. I tried to correct some things and
It's better.
Okay, cool. Well, I think I have everything right. So let me just see if you hear the session. I'd have to go into screen share and so you can see the actual Pro Tools session. But let's just see if you can get the audio here. And here we go. Well, you're not going to get the audio because I have to hijack Pro Tools. There we go. And let's see if that works. Got anything?
I don't hear anything yet.
Okay.
There we go. You got it.
Okay, so I guess the question is, sometimes the routing things in here confuse me because when I took it off from mute in audio hijack, I got the phasey, the double effect. So I remember Bill was talking about someplace, and this is like Signal Flow 101, but for some reason I'm, in the live environment right here, I guess I'm just having some issues. So if Bill is still there, did you hear it with, the double effect? Was it phasey? Was it?
It seemed to be okay. Play it one more time and let's check it out and everything. And by the way, guys, I just got a message from Basie Bob Brockman, so I'm hoping we can get him on here with us as well. We had a great hangout yesterday. I joined in with him on his hangout for Ask Basie. He's building up a great community. We had a wonderful discussion. Some major powerhouse engineers, producers, mastering, the whole nine, talking about all the things that go on in this business. And I think, see, my whole thing and what I loved about the spirit of what everybody who was there, everybody's in the spirit of trying to help move forward this industry. So I love the spirit on that. Everybody was just like, let's just make this happen and support each other. What's going on? I think everybody truly has that spirit, which you benefit when we all come from that open heart type of thing, And first time I've got a chance, seeing different people on the East Coast, seeing their names, listening to their music and work, and we finally got the chance to take geography out of the equation. This is what I love doing these hangouts. So I'm going to also try to reach in. I just got hooked up with these guys, so I don't have all of their information locked into my system where I can just immediately send out, but I'm working on that now. So as we're doing it, I may pop off and on here to see if I can get some of these guys if they happen to be looking. Okay, so anyway, so what's going on with you, Jason? How's it looking for you?
Cool. I mean, y'all heard it fine?
We heard it for a second. Were you gonna play it again?
Oh, here you go. Let me try it again. Give me a thumbs up if you hear it.
Don't hear anything right now. Is it playing?
Yeah, oh, here you go.
There we go.
Don't know what it is making me feel like this. I have never
Cool.
Cool.
So it's there, right?
Yeah.
I'm hearing a double effect, but I guess I'll work that out here. Either way, so it's fine with me.
I wasn't listening before. What were you saying about a double effect?
I'm hearing it doubled because I'm sending it out of. I'm bypassing my my HD rig, so I'm going natively. It's going to my digital outputs of my Mac, and then I'm hijacking it from there. So I'm getting a double effect in my monitor somewhere. So it's okay for me.
Go ahead, Bill, because I think I know what it is too.
I said, did you click mute?
Well, when on audio hijack, when I click mute, you guys don't hear it, and I thought I set up an auxiliary.
Wait a minute. How do you have it set up?
Screen share with him, okay?
All right.
What you got?
Let me see here. Where's the Google Hangout screen share? Somebody gonna have to point me to it.
It's that little arrow that points to the right in the green box.
So let's share with you this one. You see my mix window, right?
Not yet, no.
It's gonna come up. It's gonna come up.
There it is. We got it.
Bob's here, Khaliq.
Cool.
All right. I see it. So what I'm saying is, so that auxiliary is Soundflower, right?
Yeah, it should be. Let me double check.
Now down where it says editor, down to the left.
Soundflower 2-channel. That's the way it should look?
Yeah, depending on, well, what I'm saying is if that's coming from your sound source, you're supposed to have the auxiliary set up to Soundflower 2-channel, and then you're supposed to have Soundflower 2-channel as your input on your Google Plus.
Okay, that's the way I have it. I think I have it set up. So if I play it one more time.
That way, and you press mute. Mute means mute to you, not mute to Soundflower.
Okay.
So you wouldn't get two of them.
Okay, let's see if that works.
We got phasing. We got phasing though.
You have phasing now. Okay. All right. So I have to come back out. So Google Plus should be. Sorry for the delay, guys.
No problem. This is educational for everybody that's watching too. If anybody wants to join in with us and get all this, we got Dave on here now too.
So you're saying, Bill, Google Plus should be Soundflower output.
No. It should be Soundflower input. Soundflower input. Plus, you should be on studio mode.
Yeah, I think I am on studio mode. I just killed myself there. Built on digital. I can hear it. Yep, studio mode. Let me bring that down so you can see it.
Soundflower 2-channel. You should see green when you're playing the music or talking.
What did you have your output on? You had your output on built-in output?
Yeah, I had it on built-in digital output. That's where it's going.
Okay.
And
what's your built-in digital output outputting to?
It's outputting to my monitor controllers, and hence my my central station, so I can hear it.
I got you.
So what happens when you click mute?
When I click mute in Audio Hijack, let's see here and start the record. You guys don't hear it now, right?
That sounds good. Yeah, we can hear it.
Okay, dope.
We're good, and we can hear you.
Okay, but I can't hear myself, but that's all right. So you want to just listen down to the record, or how you want to handle it?
And then play it for us. Tell us what you want us to look for, and like any touch points you want to talk about once you get back on, since you're not going to be able to hear it.
One more thing, future reference, Jason. If you're saying that now you can't hear your song at all, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So when you don't have mute on, you're saying that you hear phasing or we do. Basically, the point is you're serving it to SoundCloud from two different sources that are hitting at two different times. So that's what you have to look for.
Yeah, yeah. I'll go ahead and work that. I know this is just weird. I've never done this application before, so.
Yeah. For now, just do it so that, I mean, the way you just did it sounded good on the broadcast, which is the point. So just do it that way, and then for next time you'll have it all worked out.
And a quick question for you, Jason. How are you listening? Are you listening? You said your digital output is going to your central station, right?
It's going to central station.
Are your headphones coming out? Are you listening to the headphone output of the central station?
Yeah. Yes.
And it's not getting there?
Not getting there, so it's all right.
Okay, cool.
So, Go
ahead and play it for us then, and just tell us some touch points to look up for.
Okay, so the record is just basic, some basic R&B stuff. There are some timing issues with the vocals that you may hear. I have not fixed that yet. Mm-hmm. And I'm still waiting from the client to get me the good string section, and I just had to have him rebounce it. But I'm just looking for balance. See if it feels good to everybody. If anything sticks out, man, just murder me on, and just get me on it. And yeah, I mean, it's just 3 minutes, and I'll just go ahead and play it down from the beginning. Let me know.
Okay. Hold on one thing before you actually do that. I just want to get on here and say what's up to Bob. What's up, Bob? Glad you can make it on here. Oh, we got a still shot. Oh, there we go. Okay. What's up, man? Can you hear us, Bob?
I hear you just fine.
Oh, okay, cool. How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I wish I could hang out longer. I have a client showing up in 5 minutes, but you just pinged me, so I just thought I would just jump in and have a listen.
Oh, cool, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we was like, man, we had such a great time yesterday, didn't we? That was so cool.
It was nice. It was really fun, man. Good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, I want to do it again soon, for sure.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, I'm there whenever I'm available. Feel free. I just got to get everybody's information, and when you guys get a chance, just shoot me an email with your info. And
for sure. I just got to the studio about 15 minutes ago, so I'm working on a Sunday. But I'm going to send out a group email to all the participants that were on yesterday, and let's definitely make it happen soon.
Wonderful.
Cool. What's up, Bob? How's it going? I'm already in touch with Chuck. I'm going to go do a site visit probably this week coming up.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome, man. Fantastic.
Yeah. Good deal.
Also,
we got Dave Hampton on the line over here. You hear us, Dave?
Yeah, I can hear
Dave.
you. Can you hear me?
Hey, Dave.
Hey, what's happening, man?
It's a pleasure to meet you digitally.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I missed the chat yesterday, man.
I'm sorry we missed you yesterday, but we'll definitely grab you on the next one.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I'm just gonna mute off and listen until my client gets here, and then we'll have to sign off. But
cool.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Khaliq.
Thank you, man. We'll have a great session today too. If we don't get a chance to talk to you afterwards.
You too, man. Cheers.
Okay. And what's up, Don? Welcome on here as well. And what's up, brother? Good to see you. I hear a delay. Is that from you, Don? Okay, it's gone now. No, it isn't gone. Okay. Is that coming from me? No. Can you guys hear me? I'm hearing a delay. Okay. Let me mute Don. Yeah, that's Don. Okay, cool. All right. Anyway, go ahead, Jason. Let's get back to you, and we'll go back to your Pro Tool, your session here, and go ahead and let's play it and see what's going on.
All right. Let me get my notepad out so I can take all your criticisms. Here we go. Thanks.
Don't know what it is making me feel like this. Ooh, it makes me wanna do things to her that I'm pretty sure her man wouldn't approve. And I don't care. and she want what I want. If I made a move, would she tell me I was wrong? Does she fantasize about the two of us alone? All the things we could do. I can't be responsible for her and her regrets. I'm trying to come between her and her man. Still I can't seem to get past me hitting that ass. And because I don't care, I'll play with somebody else. Can't help that I want her.
Yeah, I see what's going on.
Okay. Oh, you're in studio mode, right?
Yes, sir. Let me go back to hard. I was on Wi-Fi for some reason.
Oh, you're on Wi-Fi? Okay.
Let me just switch.
Yeah, that's definitely studio mode. That was definitely stereo. Sounded good, man.
So I'm back. Back on hardwire. Plus, I'm using my computer and not the HD rig, so stability is kind of questionable sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. Yeah.
So, yes, Mr. Hampton, the piano is the worst. If I went to solo it, there's going to be digital glitches in there. I think it was again, like I'm waiting for the client to send me some of the better files, but the piano, the bass, and there was some strings. I don't think the strings I buried, I destroyed. Yeah, I don't even have them playing because they were just digitally glitchy. So. I agree with the assessment on the thin piano.
Yeah, the reason why I say it sounds thin is because sometimes in these songs when everybody starts on their singing run, the only thing that you have as a guide to where they're at tonally is what the piano does in the spots where it's present.
Right.
It gives you the chordal changes. It gives you it's kind of like a home base of sorts. Not so much for it's dominating as a sound, but because it's like a marker.
Right.
For you to follow, so that you can appreciate what they're doing vocally, or you can even say, "What the hell's going on?" And when it sounds thin, it just sometimes you need a little bit more work. Sometimes you need just to be a real piano, as opposed to a piano patch, or
Yeah.
But it's just that's just my 2 cents. What the hell?
You know a lot more than me, man.
That's just the only thing that kind of jumped out at me. There were some other things, but again, I had to put myself into the format of the writing style and the genre, And
Okay.
so I don't know if necessarily the front end of the song, if they're sold on starting it like that probably needs could use a little bit of examination, a little bit more comfortable.
As far as you're talking about like just arrangement.
Yeah, just arrangement.
production.
How the song starts is just as important.
True. But that's the weird thing when I'm sitting here mixing it. I mean, I could go crazy in the production mode, but they just want me to mix the record, and I mix it as they give it to me.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, but we were just going for comments in general, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, okay, so let's do this, Jason, so we can be helpful to you to getting to the mix for the client. Fill us in on what the client, this was turned into you, what you have now, and they're going to give you a few additional things. So kind of give us a context of what you're operating from and where you're trying to get to, and more importantly, where do they want to get to with this? What's their concept?
Well, this is going to be the first of, I believe, 12 songs on an EP, on a project of his. So they're looking for one single male vocalist. This is the first record that they've completed and sent to me. They didn't have a direction. He's a new guy. It's kind of like one of those things where they say, "Hey, here you go, do your thing, and develop me a sound." So I kind of went back and forth with a couple of different references. This is a different session, so I have it all in Magic AB, but a couple of different Drew Hill records, Usher, some old school Usher for the lead vocals.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That I could hear that's kind of what you were going for, or what they were going for.
Right. The lead vocals. There was also what's the group Leslie and I were working on. So a little bit of jagged edge flair to it as well.
Yeah.
So when I get stuff like that, I don't. It's kind of like a blank canvas, so I don't know, what does that mean to, develop your own sound, develop a new sound for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I've yet to meet with the client, like in person, which I'm going to do, and kind of get a vibe for him, just like talk over coffee for a couple hours or something like that, and just find out what he's all about so it can translate to here. But yeah, somebody said the jagged edge and Usher thing. My wife was just sitting here talking about Drew Hill. So I brought a couple of records in from Drew Hill, but I was hearing the jagged edge type Usher thing too. So, I mean, that's the background.
Yeah. I think that's spot on with conceptually. That's kind of right where it reminded me. Now, let me ask you this: your initial intuitions about what you want to tackle in the song, where it is, what's the groove based on, what's the song based on, and what's the highlights, the biggest hook factor of the song. Have you thought out any of that, or are you just kind of just flying along with it?
Well, no, I happen to feel like the snare and the kick are some important driving factors, and the bass to me is a little bit boring, but not insulting the client. I'm sorry, let's keep on. I'm public right now. It's it's kind of lackluster. It's just an 8-bar loop playing throughout the whole song. So I tried to work on the snare. I tried to work on the kick, and the vocals, the background vocals, because there's a lot of stacks in here. If I switch back over, I'll see if I can't show it to you. Let's see here. So coming down, when this section here happens to be some of lead backgrounds, but during the hooks, these are all the vocals that I have available to me. And there's, it's not just a standard fly, hook flying type, it repeats. There are different harmonies, different inflections all throughout these vocals. So this initial hook kind of is meant to me to try and capture people's attention. And then the vocals come back in on a verse, and then this hook right here is something that really should crescendo to me. I don't know if we got as far as this hook before it started to glitch out. But there's a lot of different notes, a lot of different inflections. It's kind of a hook answer, call response type thing. To really there's different layers of vocals going on at all different times. So that's what I kind of focused on. I spent the first day and a half just editing and trying to figure out what the vocals were doing, what notes were where, and tried to place them, in my way of working to where it was just like, okay, I can see where X, Y, Z is and what they are. So, oops.
Okay, I'm sorry. I muted my mic and forgot. I'm just talking away. Okay. Yeah, man. I have a question for you for taking a bigger bird's eye view of this whole overall song, because obviously it's a vocal song, and R&B kind of thing, and so not discounting some of the instrumental things that are going on. Overall, if you had to strip away almost everything and build a foundation on, say, maybe 2 or 3 things, what would those 3 things be? Obviously the vocal, of course, the lead vocal, but besides that, what else?
That's tough. I would take this section here of the hook. Oops. these section right here, this main part of it, this is where the meat is. All of this stuff is the the fluff and the and the background stuff.
Play that section for a hot second.
All right, let's see here. Great. Sorry, guys. Let me make sure. Yeah.
Jason.
Sir.
If you right-click on that on the play button on Pro Tools, and you have it, right-click on that, and it should come up prepare to play or load to play. Up here by the you can't. Well, I'm pointing with my arrow. You can't see that.
Prime for playback.
Prime for play. That'll get your computer all revved up, and maybe that'll last longer.
Okay.
While he's working on that, I also got a technical question for Jason. On Logic, if you cut out all that empty space that you've got there on all those files, then Logic doesn't play those files and you get better disk throughput. Does Pro Tools work the same way?
I'm using 10 right now, so no. Unfortunately.
Even if you cut out all those blocks
it does. Yeah.
that are playing for nothing, then you wouldn't get better disk throughput?
Yeah, you would.
Probably.
You would, Jason.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, because see, right now, even if it's blank, the hard drive, the head on the hard drive is still moving to try to see if there's data there. So it doesn't matter.
You're right. Yeah. So yeah, it's still a file. So what you're seeing here, I think I did something where I was making some backup, so I consolidated everything and moved some stuff around. So you're right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking plugins. My fault. So let's see.
Hitting that ass, and because I don't care, somebody else can't help that I want her. I wonder what she thinks about me. How it would feel if we made love, because it's all I ever think about.
So something like that, Julie.
Yeah. All right, well, let's discuss this. I mean, that's the meat of the song. And is that the first chorus?
That's the second.
That's the second chorus, okay.
Right.
So remember when I talked previously, but this is a good place to start. Earlier, here's my initial impression of that section that you played, and with that being the second chorus, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on there, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but just keeping in mind there's a lot going on there, and you got to be sure with all that going on, where are you guiding their aural focus? Their ear, it's up to you to control where their ear goes. And there's a couple of things that are pulling away at times when I think they shouldn't be pulling away. And so this is why I say take a bigger bird's eye view, overview, to focus in on what's the main hook factor that carries everybody through that section, and then the other thing should be augmenting that, not pulling you away from it.
Okay.
And so when I say now taking the bird's eye view, what could you strip away from that section? Let's think about that right away. What could you take out of there completely? If we didn't know it existed, it wouldn't make a difference to us, and the song would still have a good foundation and structure.
Well, there are some answers a little bit further down. I should probably stay in screen share mode so you can see it.
The section that you just played, right?
Yeah. The section that I just played, I could probably lose these vocals.
Just mute them then. Just mute them. I mean, right now, just mute those whole tracks.
Yeah, so muting those. I mean, at the same time, I could probably pair. I mean, somebody asked over in the chat. I did cut out a lot of stacks. There was a whole bunch of notes. So I mean, I could probably pair it down.
I'm not getting into talking about editing or what. I'm trying to lead you to a process so that you can find out really what the song is built on, because you have it there. You're very close, but what's happening is there's some things that are derailing what you already have. So I just
Okay.
want you to kind of see that as we go through this process. So just mute those tracks for a second.
Uh-huh.
If they never even existed and we didn't know they were there, you know, this is how, let's hear and hear what we got.
Okay, here you go.
Ask me. Me hitting that ass, and because I don't care, she's with somebody else. Can't help that I want her. I wonder if she thinks about me.
All right.
Okay. All right. So what did you notice by doing just that one little simple exercise?
I'm gonna have to listen to it after because I can't hear because of the way my sound.
yeah.
So I apologize. So I can't hear it. So I'm kind of relying on you guys. I don't know. I just can't. I can't remember to myself what these were saying right now.
Okay, you know, we had the hook vocals and we had a couple of answer vocals and everything like that. What I want to do then, because I mean I already know what's up and I suspect that a lot of other people do. So why don't some of the other people chime in and see where do you think that I'm trying to get him to think on this section? What did you guys notice? Somebody want to chime in?
I noticed right away that when you muted the 4 tracks, there was a lot more focus down the middle. I wasn't feeling pulled left, right at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I could hear it. The vocals were more intelligible. I
You
liked
start feeling like it had more foundation and making
Yes,
sense.
absolutely. It made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Anybody else notice any other things? Don, Lottie, anybody?
I wanted to ask about
We have a echo of Lottie's, so turn your speaker down.
That was Don. No, that wasn't Vladdy. That was
Oh, was
Don.
that Don? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
besides, you know, it's like getting used to singing with effects. All right, so when you got a bunch of backing vocals, what do you do to make space for the lead vocal?
Is that to me?
Well, yeah.
Just in general. I mean, one, I think in my case with these, again, a lot of filtering. If you looked at some of these tracks, I mean, I did a fair amount of filtering here on the low end just to kind of give it some. I tried to separate it from the lead vocal, thin it out, roll some top end off.
What are we talking about here? I missed it. What are we talking about? That EQ that you pulled up, what was that on?
That was just on one of the backing vocals, just a clean up thing for one of the backing vocals a little bit there. Mm-hmm. I think he was asking how did you make space for the background vocals and I'm sorry, make space for the lead vocals. Am I right, Vlad? Okay, yeah.
He's got thumbs up. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I end up taking a lot, some of that low end. I did boost a little bit, you know, a couple of 3 dB somewhere in that 100, just to give it a little. I didn't want it to be too thin, but I did just kind of filter them off and spread them out a little bit. Mm-hmm. In this case.
Okay, and conceptually, lead vocal versus background vocals, and section versus section. Right now, we're hearing the basic hook chorus part of it. This hook chorus, would you agree that the hook is pretty much based on the background vocals? They took over from the lead vocals that were in the verse. Suddenly it becomes a background chorus type of hook. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. So your placement of the lead vocal that's kind of augmenting these background vocals that have taken over the hook of the song, where you placed them, first of all, level-wise, is that, what do you think about that as far as what were you thinking, you know, why you made that choice and I'm getting to a thing, but I want to see what your thought process was behind that.
So with the background vocals, how do I want to say it? I wanted them to appear, if I close my eyes, that they are not out. You know, in this case, that not totally outside of the speakers, but I wanted them high and backwards from where the lead vocals were sitting in my space. So some of the filtering, some of the panning, to a little bit of compression to kind of get them a little bit of control to sit where I was trying to get them to sit, and then with some automation a little bit later on to kind of make the lead vocal peek through where I wanted it to during those choruses. I don't know if that's what actually you were looking for.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to see what you were looking for, basically.
Yeah.
Do me a favor then, play it from the verse leading into the chorus. I want to hear just how one went from one to the other.
Okay. Let's see here.
Can't be responsible for her and her regrets. By trying to come between her and her man. Still I can't seem to get past me hitting that ass. And because I don't care, she's with somebody else. Can't help that I want her.
Okay, let's stop there for a second. Okay, now I'll just give you my impressions, and like you did a really good job, man. It sounds really good and everything. But here's the one thing that just from my point of view, I always talk about it and try to remind you guys, you know, because before I think about, and it's funny, when we were on the Hangout yesterday with Bob and all the other guys, we were talking in terms of, you know, these guys like do a lot of stuff to get their mixes happening, but it's still always based on those little intangible things that add that extra energy and excitement, and it's just little stuff that's inside of what's going on with the music as opposed to the tools themselves. So what I'd like for you to do now, as far as conceptually just getting in your mind for where you're trying to go, think next level as far as transitioning from the lead vocal in the verse, pulling into the chorus, and what it is you have the lead vocal telling its story in the verse. The lead vocal is expressing all these emotions. There's a quality to it that should set it right here to make you pay attention to the story. And then as it's leading and pulling into the chorus, the background vocals take it over, and the key thread phrase is, he says, and I don't care, and he holds it out, and then right away that should be the handoff, like in football, to the background vocals. That's where it gets wide and big. That's where it gets rich and full, and really is the payoff to what we've been hearing for the story he's been telling and leading. And what it's almost there. It's like really close. It's almost there. But what happens then is the backgrounds take it over. They have that thing there. It probably could be a little bigger because it should feel like a step up in the emotional energy that we're hearing. And then the lead vocal is playing off of them, just kind of doing the fill-ins and everything. And right now, when the lead vocal is coming in, I don't know if anybody else is feeling this way, but I almost feel distracted instead of additive. So I don't, you have to find a placement where when the background vocals are taking over the hook, and then the lead is solidifying it and punching it home, as opposed to pulling my ear away from the hook, so that I'm just swaying and rocking and really into the message with the two of them working together. They're not fighting each other, but what it is they're kind of they're not fighting each other, but they're kind of vying for dominance. You know what I'm saying? They're vying for the dominance. So if play it one more time from the verse leading into the chorus, and listen, and just think about conceptually what I'm saying, and then we'll talk about some things that can be done.
Okay, here you go.
For her and her regrets, by trying to come between her and her man. Still I can't seem to get past me hitting.
Ah.
Oop.
Sorry, you go.
I trying to come between her and her man. Still I can't seem to get past me hitting that ass. And because I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I know that frustration, man. Plus, you know, when you got video going on and everything, there's a lot of stress on the computer right now.
Yeah, this during the mix, this is what is an overload? I don't ever get this, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's the video streaming is putting a little stress on you.
Okay. I mean, I'm taking all these notes down, so you know, when I am able to hear it, I'm listening. Don't think that I'm not. I'm gathering it all in.
Oh yeah, I know, because you can't hear it in real time what we're talking about. But these, just write it down and then go back and think about it. And like I said, the main thing is get an overview, a bird's eye view of what's going on with the song, and then think from that point of view. Because right now you've technically got it sounding great. I mean, I can hear all kinds of different parts and everything, but there's that little intangible thing that goes in beyond the technical that makes sure each element has the right space in the right place, and then when it does a handoff to the next element, it you know, the things are placed where they need to be without distracting. The weight that is needed to be had is there. You know, like this is why I make it like I always like to get down to a like the MTV Unplugged type thing back in the day, where what could we take it down? What could we get rid of? I asked you that question. If we never knew it existed, what could we get rid of, and this song would still have a strong foundation? Like, for example, could we get rid of the bass?
No.
No?
No, no. As simple as it is, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. What are some of the other instruments and vocals that are there? I'll tell you what's even simpler. Let's do this first. Go on the left and hit the mute button on anything you think we could get rid of right now. That we don't. Okay. If we didn't know it existed, you could mute it and it would make a bit of difference.
That's a direct order word.
Yeah, my little alarm came on. This is timing, yeah.
That was great.
Yes, sir. Are you talking just vocally or instrumentally?
No,
just anything. Anything, right? Okay.
Over bird's eye view now of this song.
I got you.
We don't know it exists. You don't know it exists. So go ahead and just mute it out.
Alrighty. I think there's a couple of synths in there. Bass. The strings are already muted because they are not great. A little tiny strat there that can stay. You know, I mean, there was a couple of arpeggiators. Not a lot. I mean, again,
I don't even know what's on there. So I mean, just hit the mute button as much as you can.
Yeah.
Because we don't know it exists already. And like I said, the biggest thing is act like you don't know it exists.
Yes, sir.
What I'm trying to do basically is get you, Jason, to, you know, we all learn so many things and all that. Many times we have to just kind of make ourselves go back to the time when we didn't know nothing and just kind of listen in the overview. So that's kind of why I'm doing this exercise with you right now. It's the same thing that I make myself do all the time, because we can get caught up in the stuff and you know, get back to the sound of what's going on in the song, the basis of it. You know?
Right. I mean, and that's one of the hard things that I'm struggling with, because I know what, you know, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, well, no, that sound is important, or I thought it was important. So I'm trying to erase everything. Yeah,
just do it. Do me a favor, just do it intuitionally without even thinking about it. Well, no, I really need this song. Just grab something. Yeah, I can mute that. And then don't even double question it, because I'm just curious to see. This is just an exercise right now to get back in touch. And like I said, plus we don't know what's there, so I'd like for the rest of us to kind of hear what it is stripped down, and then we can all kind of assist you in saying, well, wow, okay, we can still hear that basic song based on what you played us before, and you took out a bunch of stuff. We can, you know, it's just like Joseph was saying, when you muted a couple of things, suddenly the chorus made sense, you know, but there
Right.
weren't a lot of distractions and pulling. So this is why we're trying to do this right now.
All right, let's see what I come up with.
Okay.
All right, here you go.
Okay.
Again, that same part that transitioned the end of the verse into.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For her and her regrets, I'm trying to come between her and her man. Still I can't seem to get past me hitting that ass. And because I don't care that she's with somebody else, can't help that I want her.
Okay, stop. Guys, I'm gonna ask everybody. I ain't saying nothing. Did he mute the right stuff? Can anybody hear a difference and everything?
Big time. Yeah, he muted the right stuff. Yeah.
You know what's funny though? I don't even know what I mute.
That's why I said don't even think about it. Yeah, that's what I said. You did it intuitionally, and your intuition was right. Did it sound clearer to you guys all of a sudden? Could you hear some things, and it sounded more solid right now?
I couldn't hear the snare or the kick before. Not with any kind of definition at all. And now it's coming through. It's beautiful. I like it.
Yep, the vocal started opening up a little more. Just there's a lot of things now. Like the other stuff that you got, you'll have to get it back in there because obviously they delivered it to you. They want it in the song. But the whole key is the foundation you're building it on. Just because people give you this kitchen sink doesn't mean you have to throw it all in there at once or make it all. You know, it should all be supportive of what the basis of that song is. The foundation is where the strength is, and you strengthen the strengths. You know, right now you're getting back to the strengths, whereas it was starting to pull it away before. There was too much going on and everything. This will help you strip away all the unneeded stuff and understand that all this other stuff is filler. Get down to... Now I want you to try one other thing. Let's go down real bare bones. Go down to just piano, lead vocal, and the main hook vocal. That's it. You can solo those tracks if you want.
So you just want piano,
the main lead vocal, and then the basic hook vocals when it goes in.
All right. No drums, no nothing.
No drums, no nothing.
All right.
We'll get back to the drums and stuff later, but I just want to get down to that.
Piano, and then your basic backgrounds. All the backgrounds, sir?
No, just like I said, the main hook. That's all I want to hear. Just the main hook vocals.
Hopefully I got it right, and let's go from that a little bit, like 2 bars from the hook. Let's see here.
Things we could do.
If I have any things solo safe, that
I can be responsible for her and her regrets. Still I can't seem to get past me hitting that ass. And because I don't care that she's with somebody else, can't help that I want her. To myself, I wonder if she thinks about me.
Yeah. Now, and I'm gonna get everybody else's things. To me, other than the drums and stuff, this is the song. To me, everything else needs to keep this part in focus. This is the song, you know. Anybody else want to chime in on that? You know, getting down to bare bones, everything else being supportive in nature. I think this is the song, and when you put more stuff in to support it, if you overly put the other stuff in and lose this stuff, you lose the song. Is anybody disagree with that?
No. You know, in fact, Jason, the description that you gave about the background, you know, the BG vocals being like outside of the space and up high, I could hear that when you hit play this time. I could really hear what you said. Those repeats on the delay, I didn't hear any of that before.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I really heard the space that you described that you wanted. It came over loud and clear to me.
That's the essence of the hook of this song and the magic of this song. The other thing is that I can hear with that lead vocal, he's not a bad singer and everything. Like you mentioned, the Usher and Jagged Edge and things like that. But that lead vocal needs to have more weight too. He sounds a little wimpy. He's clear, he's clean and everything. But this is where we get into the attitude thing of what's really carrying this song and what needs to have that, what needs to have that thing, So that lead vocal needs to definitely have that. The background vocals actually have more of it than the lead vocal does, and it should, quality-wise, sonic quality, like I said, the vocal should feel his voice sounds weaker than it actually is. When we could actually hear it, it's like, okay, we got a decent singer on here, So his voice you need to help him out and build him up a little more with the weight of his voice thickness. Now, I'm not talking, when I say weight, I'm not necessarily talking about add low end and do all these things. It's a intangible feeling that the weight of his performance is basically what I'm talking about. So his performance has weight. Right now, he's not driving the track. The track is driving him, and he's kind of like a guest player in his own track. He should always be driving the track, And this is why I asked you earlier, could you get rid of the bass? We definitely could get rid of the bass. The bass is not that important. I mean, it's good for the thinking is engineering wise, and you want to have full range, top to bottom, and everything. The bass is carrying that low end. But as far as the song and having the bird's eye view of the song, you could take that bass out and play that song, and everybody will still get it, because the bass is just playing drums. It's just weight down there to fill it up, So building the song on the important elements is so critical and key to making this really come together. Does that make sense, man?
Oh, a whole lot of sense.
Does anybody else want to chime in with any other observations that they might that they would think would be helpful to Jason?
I got a thing I want to ask you guys. So, is it viable if you do it the other way around? So instead of giving something B, you take something away from the rest of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's what we're doing, basically, taking away the stuff that isn't needed, that is distracting and all that, just to see and remind you. Because like I said, he's going to have to put it back in. But that's why I go through this exercise. It's always good to keep going back. It's the same exercise I tell you guys and I tell myself all the time. Once I start putting a bunch of plugins on and all this, it's my first intuition to put different things and try them in different orders. But then I always go to bypass or mute or just taking them off. I'll move them around into different slots on my plugins. What I've done now, because I used to start out, and every time I started with plugins, I'd start at the top slot and then just go down according to what I thought. And I don't do that anymore. I always leave the top slot open so that I can just move something and put it in another order if I choose to. I always have that option now, because it makes a difference as the things come together. Your initial thing might be perfectly right, but then as other elements get in there, you may need to adjust as you go on, and it's just really helpful to step back many times during the course of what you're doing and get out of your engineer head and just get back to the song guy that didn't know nothing. Go back to your inner kid when all you did was like music and just, you start, it's my jam,
Yeah. I actually I've never even, I don't remember being taught that approach, but what you just did, even though I can't hear it, hey, look, just drop some stuff out and get the essence of the song and then mix stuff back in because of the requirements of the client. Hey, we had that, we want the sound in there. So, but if, like you guys said, and I can't hear it, the lead, the piano, and the backgrounds, that's it. And now I just have to bring stuff around it.
Yeah. But it sounds really good. Definitely. So I want you to don't think that I'm saying it doesn't sound good. It definitely sounds really good. Now it's going to the intangibles that make the song go to the next level beyond just a good technical sound. Okay, Dave, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, are you guys getting me okay? Because I'm.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, and Khaliq, if you can speak to this or anybody, when you're dealing with something that has a recognizable sound, like in other words, you can listen to that song, like you said, your wife had mentioned Jagged Edge, and you're hearing these other established things, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you need to do that process that Khaliq just said, because you got to dismantle the expectation that's already in your mind. If you have too much of that, then you're going to be aiming for it subconsciously. You're going to be aiming for Jagged Edge when you work, because you're going to be looking for all those high points and to build all that. While that may be something they admire, that may not be what they're exactly looking for. So, in order to hear what is their unique thing in their song, I think that's why that subtractive process works, of just stripping it away, because once you hit a certain I'll just say age, you got a lot of reference music in your head. Mm-hmm. So when you hear things, there's an established expectation, and so a lot of times you've got to kind of get it out your mind. Okay, yeah, that was that, and I hear that, but let me listen to what's here, and go from that premise. Because Jagged Edge was good for the time Jagged Edge was running, but it might not be what they're headed for. It might be somebody who definitely had an influence on their style. Yeah. But again, in order to get that different perspective and listen and find that the different elements Khaliq is talking about, it just helps as almost like a happy accident. You because you stripped it away. You're like, oh man, I got this gold sitting right here, and I didn't even see it. And if you had just had your Jagged Edge shades on, you never would have caught it. Because you'd have been satisfied that you got Jagged Edge as an engineer. Oh yeah, I got that sound. Sounds just like that. Remember?
Yeah.
Right? Because that was a hit. You figure this ain't necessarily so. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to dress it up in its own clothes too, because like Dave was saying, I mean, Jagged Edge, and Usher and all those. Everything that you said, that's what it reminded me of specifically. But that song has its own thing. He is not those guys, and you have to find that thing and pull it out. Otherwise, you're automatically relegating him to being second fiddle automatically by trying to go where they've already been.
Yeah. And those things are a definitive writing style. Like the way those things came about, it was a definitive writing style. So yeah, it is formulaic in the process that it comes to be, but I think you'll see a lot. You'll be surprised what you see when you do what Khaliq's talking about and just strip away.
And the other thing too with the vocals, I mean, I'm sure everybody agrees this is a vocal song. So those vocals need to be huge. Mainly his lead vocal and the hook vocals. So there's a lot of other little alternate vocals that are doing little stuff. Those are, you should never lose sight of. Those are just kind of to punctuate the actual message. So what we're going to do, what I want you to do, Jason, is we're going to play the song from the first verse all the way through to until we decide to stop it, so we can hear the whole message, and then just focus on is the message, what's actually being said, doing what it's supposed to do, make some mental notes and everything. Then I'm gonna have you put in some of the other vocals and stuff like that to see if when they come in, do they distract, And the point is that even if they do distract, well, they were put in there by the artist, producer, whatever. That's their choice and decisions. But it's our choice that if they do distract, if they're not quite, building the foundation that's there, what can we do to make that happen so that they don't distract? So do me a favor, play it from verse 1 with just what we had. You can put the drums in now too. So the drums, piano, lead vocal, and the hook backgrounds.
Making me feel like this. I have never kissed her lips, still I'm obsessed. verses. The way that she moves, ooh, it makes me wanna do things to her that
That's okay. That's okay. Well, I tell you what. Before you even move on, now, when you put the drums in too, here's another thing that I noticed. What do you? First of all, what do you have on the drums right now, as far as effects and stuff like that?
Let's see here. I have just a couple of kicks here. Oh, you guys can see that. A couple of kicks here, just a little EQ and a little, I think this was a sample kick that I put in. A little transient designer, another EQ, a little bit of compression, a tad bit of, just a little limiting there happening. Again, with the snare buses, the same thing. Minor, just minor transient filters, little EQ. I do have I have a ping pong, a slap delay on the, I have a little slap on this main snare here,
right?
Which I grabbed from Trigger, because they didn't have a snare in this record. It needed some kind of, it was just like, R&B claps. It just didn't sound good to me, so I added this snare, which the client liked. Little slap reverb, some reverb on the whole kit itself. What is that? Oh, that's piano. So yeah.
What kind of reverb do you have on the kit?
On the kit, we're using Bricasti, I believe. Yeah.
And what are you using from the Bricasti?
That was hall number 1. It was a brass hall. I needed a little bit bright, so.
And what kind of decay time and stuff like that you have on there?
Let's take a look here. Let's see.
Decay time, pre-delays, anything like that? Early reflections, anything that's...
I think it was just, honestly, I have a little bit of EQ going on in there, but as far as the delay times, it was pretty standard. Whatever the
preset, you just called up the preset pretty much?
I called up the preset, and this brass hall, I think, in its times is about 3.74 seconds. I think big in the hall, got the hall a little bit bigger than it was on the preset, and just treated it with a little EQ here, and I think I did it 2 times, so
okay.
a little filter before the reverb, and then just a tad bit of EQ to kind of, I was getting this almost like feedback-ish, and every time I would stop and the snare would ring out, I would get this frequency that would just ring and ring and ring in this reverb, and I just took that out a little bit.
Hey, play just the drums for a second. Let me hear what's going on there. Here's what I'm hearing, Jason, and I'm suspecting that your effects are throwing the groove a bit. I'm suspecting that you need to tweak them, like I said, to strengthen the strengths. That's what I'm suspecting here. So play it for me for a second.
All right, just the drums. There you go. I think I'm in the right spot.
What's that leakage I'm hearing?
I'm not sure.
And you know what? If you need to, if you got some tracks towards the bottom or anywhere that aren't really needed, you can simply you can actually just disable them totally so that they free up some CPU if you want.
Yeah, 'cause my computer is going at 60-something%. Let's just make all that stuff inactive right now. You said something was leaking. There was an effect.
Play the drums again. I heard something coming through.
Ugh. That shouldn't be. Let's you guys. I don't know what's going on here. This is crazy.
Interesting.
Never happens to me.
Go all the way back to the beginning of the song for a second. Sometimes that just helps you. It helps it reset from a reading from a different point. See what happens. No, it's still doing it no matter where. It's weird. But that would come up and you haven't changed or added anything.
Yeah.
Take it off of solo. You're soloing everything now?
I just, yeah.
You're soloing the drums?
Yes, sir.
Is your stuff coming through? Do you have your different elements submix? Just hit mute on the ones that you're submixing.
Yeah, I deactivated. I deactivated.
Okay.
I deactivated everything but the drums here.
And they're still doing it. Huh?
Yeah, it looks like I'm not even gonna try and get technical.
Try seeing if. Oh man, that's not gonna work either. Okay. That's weird that would just start happening like that. Do you have anything else open other than this in your browser for the Hangout?
No.
You don't have Skype or anything like that on, right?
No, sir. No Skype. Just basic. I have Audio Hijack and Pro Tools and Safari open.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's it.
Okay.
But let me just see what kind of. Let me do this. Let me get rid of some of these plugs because right now that's not necessary.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, while you're at it, you should try Chrome instead of Safari.
Okay. Yeah, I have it someplace. You know, it's one of them habits.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but Google makes Chrome and Google makes Hangouts.
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
For your Hangouts, you definitely should use Chrome. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, that's okay. Well, we'll just talk about it then, because I hear you got the you've got the delay going on the snare, and then you've got your reverb happening, but they're not quite timed right. Something's not quite right with it. I noticed it while it was playing, and then when you had the other stuff in, I was hearing some kind of clash. So you might want to pay attention to those and just be sure to get everybody locked in where it's really pulsing the groove properly, getting out of the way, so make sure your decays are straight, with how the song is moving. So between the drums and the reverbs and delays on the drums and the piano instrumentally, and then whatever you have on the vocals, just make sure everybody is playing nice in the sandbox.
Okay.
That's your basis of the song, and as soon as you played it and you added the drums in, I right away it felt it's like, oh wait, something's going on there.
Okay.
Okay.
Duly noted.
Yep. Anybody else notice anything and want to comment on some of this stuff?
I think it's good, Jason. I think technically it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it really does. You do a great job, man, and like the stuff you sent me and everything, it all sounds good. So these little things I'm telling you are the little things that notch it up to that next level, because it's obvious you have the understanding of the tools to get it sounding good and right and everything. So that whole next level is just simply little tiny stuff like we're doing here, this detail stuff where it's like, okay, now I got it sounding good. Let me go back and dig in and pull the heart out of the song,
Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, it didn't take me technically long to mix this to where it is right now, but what you're describing, I think, is more of, that's where it's going to take the time, though. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. That's where, okay, let me really think about this. So, I don't know, maybe it's a good idea to kind of technically get it sounding where you want to, and then kind of, I'm probably going to try the next time I do one of these records, is do exactly what I did to get it there, and then strip it back down like you suggested, and then start to kind of make the emotions start, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, whatever way you get there, because some people get it, like they work on really getting all the sounds right, and then they work their way back. Like me, what I do, I used to work that way all the time. You know, I started out with all my EQs and compressors and get my concept of what I thought on, put everything in there, and then as the song progressed, what I started noticing from learning from some of my mentors is that, okay, Khaliq, you got too much of this, such and such and all that, so take it off and let's see what's going on. And then when I listen and go back, I realized that I did too much up front. So then now over the years I've adjusted my approach to where before I move on with too much up front, I make sure that the heart and soul of the song is there always when you're moving on, and then that way you don't have to, it's harder to go back and undo as opposed to just adjusting while you're in the thing, for me anyway. But some people can do it just the opposite way, and then you just need a spot check, because if your intuition tells you exactly what you need, you know how to get there, then by all means just go ahead and put it on and go where you want to go, and then just do a mental check to say, okay, now I've got all this and everything and I think I did the right thing. Let me just chill and sit back. You know, it's kind of the equivalent of what I used to do, and a lot of people used to do when we'd go and get the mix, do it just like we thought, and then we'd get the heck out the room and just leave the door open and blast it loud and go into the kitchen and have a soda and a sandwich or something like that, but we're letting it play back, and then all of a sudden you're hearing all these things. Oh, okay, I got to do that. Okay, I need to take that off. Oh, okay, this, so it's just another perspective. Find what way works for you, but just keep the flow moving, and then know that every now and then a spot check is really good to get you back in reality and away from engineering so much, back to the feeling part of it. That's really the main thing, I guess, that I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
I get you.
Because everything you sent me sounds technically great, all the time. So it's always little stuff like that first thing that you sent me the other day. Then when I listened to it, I was like, well, this sounds really good, but I could just hear the compressor squeezing. It was loud, it came on, it was powerful and in your face, but it sounded flatlined because of the compression. I'm like, well, I can hear that it's in there and everything's clear and separated and clean, but it just sounds like the dynamics have been stripped out to make the song have the life that it needed. So that's why I can't wait to go back and hear the changes that you did, because I'm sure you nailed it after that, just going back.
Yeah, so what you'll hear is this version, with the dynamics back, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes a big difference, man.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me a quick rundown of your vocal chain? Sounds pretty nice and smooth.
Sure, if you would. Let's go back on it. So, with this vocal chain, I've taken this because I've been helping out with. I've been sitting in with Leslie a whole bunch, so he's influenced the changes that I've made to it frequently. So with my vocal chain, if we just break this stuff out, I'll just make this active real quick. I'm not going to play it. Obviously, when I got the first thing, when I got this song, he had printed all of his auto-tune and pitch correction onto the track, so I didn't have any control. I did use a touch of it. Nothing. Oh, wait, you can't see that. Nothing too crazy. It's not even really touching it that much. So what I do is on the lead tracks, I group them all together, and they get all sent to this auxiliary here called lead level. Right, just some minor corrective stuff here, Vlad.
You have the SSL, and then
the E channel, and then that goes into a de-esser, which just kind of tugs away at some stuff, some compression, right? It does go through something similar again to where this is, starting. I add a little top end here, a little high mids here, just a little bit of control. It's really not doing too much. This FET 1 is I have a 500 series compressor I like to use on my vocals, and this is where all the control happens. It comes out, and in this case, this guy needed some multiband stuff going on with his vocal. So I processed it multiband here, another de-esser because it needed it, and then all of this stuff spills into here. It may sound like overkill, but it's just something that I'm used to. This is the Leslie Brathwaite setting. So I just kind of copied that one and I adjusted as I need it. But my old favorite, the CL1B, just man, love it. Just maybe if it's touching a dB here, I'm lucky. You know what I mean, Vlad? So that's that. Little 560 action. Sometimes I used to really kick up that 16K, but in this case not needed anymore. And then just a touch of the loud factor, and that's basically it. And again, it's just going out to compress to basic sends to reverbs and automated delays as I see fit. You know, just trying to get trying to get the throws right and things of that sort. Automation happens on a track level. Sometimes it's clip gain depending on how I feel like processing it, but most of the time now the automation is on either the lead level track or this track. Just depends on where I am in the mix.
So you're saying you basically go in and use clip gain to even out certain sections? Is that what you were saying? Or did I misunderstand you?
No, you're right. But if I were to use clip gain, it would be pre-plugin.
I got
like
you.
Literally,
Right.
Before I even put any. If there's some really big issues that I need to deal with clip gain about, it would happen pre-plugin because obviously that's gonna.
Let me ask Bill. Isn't clip gain pre-plugin anyway?
Yeah, clip gain is always pre-plugin because it's dealing with the actual waveform.
Right.
And when I mean pre-plugin, though, I mean before I even put plugins on, because it's going to affect how. Yeah, it's going to affect how the plugin gets hit.
Right, it's gain staging. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do me a favor, man. I am curious. Do me a favor, mute everything that's on on that lead vocal that you put on there, and let's hear it with everything bypassed. Hear what you got and had to work with.
Let's see here.
And solo. Yeah.
I have no idea what it's gonna sound like to y'all.
That's all right.
Don't know what it is making me feel like this. I have never kissed her lips, still I'm obsessed. The way that she moves, ooh, it makes me wanna do things to her that I'm pretty sure her man wouldn't approve.
Okay, yeah. So that's not a bad sounding vocal as is, right?
No, it wasn't. When I pulled it up, I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh well, look here, you have actually a vocal. But then you listen to it, then you're like, oh okay, all right. So you started printing stuff, and all of his effects were burnt into the track. So
what we were hearing already had the auto tune on it too, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it did. at certain points. I don't know if he used auto tune. I don't know if he used Melodyne. I don't know if it was just basic waves tune. But
it's been pitch corrected.
Yeah, it's been pitch corrected already. So, which is but it's not a horrible pitch correction. It's
no, it sounded good.
Yeah, you can hear it. So, but it sounds all right.
Yeah,
it sounded all right.
And then you could clearly hear why you used a de-esser, because you could hear the S's coming in, on certain things. But it wasn't overly bad, but enough that it just needed a bit of controlling, so you can hear all that.
Right. Yeah. And then after every time you add a plugin, especially with my 500 series compressors, it starts to add some weird sibilance, and every EQ will start to you boost the band. It'll that's why I ended up using. What did I use? 2 de-essers, in sequence. So just kind of controlling it in each stage.
Gotcha. Cool.
Did that answer your question, Vlad?
Well, it's interesting for me because I really don't know how who make their vocals sound nice and then in front without being too intrusive. So I'm more interested dynamic-wise. So could you repeat again dynamic-wise? What are your compressors and stuff that deal with your dynamic?
Well, dynamically, let me see. Well, let me kind of bring it back. So this, after initially, I didn't feel the need at this point for any dynamic control, so the compressor is not really doing anything. I brought the de-esser in around this area because that's where it kind of started hitting, being a little bit harsh, so I calmed that area down.
What frequency are you de-essing?
I started at around 5764, I think the setting is right now. Sometimes it could be a little bit lower than that with this version, but I just kind of swept around and found
between
where
5 and 6K is where you can hear the sibilants for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And as far as dynamically, I mean, they're not bad waveforms here in the first verse, but I'm not really looking at that. There's some differences here. That one right there, when it comes down to the R compressor here, I'm just medium and medium, just kind of controlling that vocal to kind of keep it within a range. If you wanted to say, like, the only way I could explain it to me, sometimes I explain to my students, again, I'm in post-fader mode here in Pro Tools, but I'm looking for, when I'm doing it visually, which is, I'm looking for my vocal to kind of sit someplace here on my meter. If you wanted to cheat and look and say, where are you looking for? But I'm using my ears. I want it to sit somewhere in this area at all times for me, if that makes sense. So I try to use it,
Let's hear that section and then pop that in and out so we can hear what's happening with it.
Okay. Let's get this section right here. So this is. I'll keep the.
Is it level matched right now?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay.
Things to her.
Ugh.
Oh, there we go. That's right.
Don't do this to me.
We're probably
Things to her that I'm pretty sure.
This is crazy.
Not gonna happen. Okay. Don't worry about it, man. We'll solve that one on another one. This is all real time stuff.
Yeah. I don't know, Bill.
Would you rather clip gain that section or R-comp that section?
I think in this case I decided to R-comp it. I didn't want to. I think there's some automation that lies underneath.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
But yeah, there's some automation that lies underneath. But I think I left it alone in this section as far as clip gaining. I could, you could go in there and grab. Okay, cool, that stuff there.
What is that you showed us? That's actual automation? Or is that drawn in clip gain?
This is automation. That's
okay, so that's
right
going to be after R-comp.
That's going to be after, yeah.
Yes. All right.
I can't. There were some places where I chose to clip gain. I can't remember exactly where, Bill, but there were some places where I did choose to clip gain, and that was in my initial editing of the lead vocal to kind of say, okay, cool. And then I started my plug-in chain and kind of kept everything. The clip gain is I start feeding my compressor what it likes to hear. So
right, and you feel like there's a different sound between the two of them?
Yes, absolutely. It's because, especially if you have with R-comp, I mean, you have that set, depending on the compressor that you use, in my opinion, if you start feeding it more, it's going to kind of growl more at you. If you feed it less, it's going to be nice and smooth. But that subjective sound that you have after all of your processing, if you automate that kind of keeps, to me, a little bit more, in certain cases, it'll keep just that sound being there. So where, if I could imagine, what you guys are going to see, again, this guy kind of recorded at home, but there's some obvious distortion there, right? Clip gaining that down doesn't really make a difference.
No, yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah,
You know what I mean? And the way that is how hot it was when it came in, I found that no matter which way I clip gained or automated it, there was a difference, in the processing. So I'm trying to figure out the words how to clearly explain it, but I do think that there's a difference sometimes between clip gain and volume automation, depending on what's in your chain.
Cool. Yeah, it's the same thing as if somebody uses Vocal Rider or if they use a compressor. It's two different things.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. They're completely different processes, really. Do me a favor, spread that waveform out a little bit, and let's see what's going on, and maybe even stretch that up to jumbo so we can kind of see what's happening.
I mean, this thing, I just imagine he either clipped the mic or clipped the. I mean, this is definitely before Pro Tools, so that just tells me either he just distorted the mic or the preamp.
Right.
So, hey, it is.
I
told him. I said,
Yeah.
And what is that? Did you try to do any processing on that, like automating something on that particular section, or you just left it as it is?
I think, Bill, this is where I kind of clip gain it down a few dB, but I really didn't go into the super. Let me try and remove, because I know it's just not gonna happen sometimes.
Okay. What
So,
section? Is that playable? Can you play that?
Let's see here. Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
I want her for
I don't know if you heard it before it clicked off.
I want her for me. That's what it's going
So that was just on me. I think it was me.
Say it again.
That was just the word fall, or
was it?
Widen it out so we can see where that's hitting.
No, that's fall. Yeah.
Just can't help. I want her for me.
No, that's me. That is me.
Is it me? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
me.
really hear any. Well, at least as far as it being sent over, the system is being sent over. I didn't really hear any difference there.
Yeah, so it sounds. I guess the point that we all look at is it sounds okay, even though they made it recorded. It still sounds fine. It's acceptable,
Yeah.
no matter what it looks like. So that's cool.
It's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah. Now, you have the Did you put the R comp on there? Do you have the not the R comp? You have the R Vox on there, right? Is that the R Vox or the R comp?
That's the R comp. I didn't choose the R Vox today.
Is the R comp on there right now, or is it bypassed?
No, it's bypassed. So
try putting it on for a second. Let me hear the difference and see if we can get away with hearing at least that much.
Okay, here you go.
Just can't help. I want her for me. That's what it's going.
Okay, so that was with the R comp.
Yes, sir. And now with it off, you hear the difference?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, play it one more time with it off.
With it off.
Just can't help. I want her for me. That's what it's gonna be.
Interesting. Okay. So do you hear? I have a question for you. Do you hear what the R comp is doing on the word fall?
I'd have to go back.
Go ahead.
No, I'm listening. I'd have to go back and actually.
Oh, that's right. You can't. I keep forgetting.
Yeah,
you can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
But it's doing a thing on the F.
Yes.
Which is what you want to do. But I say listen back for things like that on how it's recovering, attacking, and actually releasing into that word based on whether it's on or off. Because here's the thing. With the way it was recorded in there with that flat line, it's already basically it's not compressed. It's limited already on that front end. So with
Right.
adding that compressor on there, it's doing the thing on there that's it's already compressing a limited signal. And so it's changing a character of how that consonant is hitting, which can affect intelligibility. So, little things like that is a good exercise to listen with it off. That's why I say going back and stepping back, listen with it on, listen with it off, to see and be sure that it's not flatlining your vocal as far as performance-wise,
Yeah, I did notice that as well. I was considering maybe coming back and, especially with that one because I heard that thwack.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe I could turn it on and off. I could automate it on and off in certain, especially with some of these clip points where it may give you a lispy type compressed transient. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's wise. Yeah. That would be wise. Yeah, because I could hear that and listening through. It's not bad, but it definitely is noticeable. And the thing is when you get everything else around it, it's little things like that can make your vocal, like we were talking about earlier, about your vocal getting swallowed up by the track. As opposed to him driving the track, he's just kind of a guest on his own track. But you want to make sure that he can drive it. So go back and listen to that and be sure that things like that on some of those attacks aren't taking away critical words. That word, I want to fall, that word that he's saying is a very critical word, So you want to make sure that when the compressor that's on there is doing it, in addition to it having been recorded in a flat line, that's basically just going to take everything down so it can take away the intelligibility of what's going on with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Jay, did you pull the Massey de-esser demo?
I do not have the Massey de-esser demo, no. I have a couple of Massey plugs, but I just didn't buy that one, unfortunately.
Well, what I mean is, it's a demo. It works perfectly.
Okay.
It doesn't save. I definitely check that out because I think the Massey's the top one, and then Fab Filter is next, and then it moves down into the wave stuff. So try out the Massey. You can pull the demo, listen to it on the song, and find out if it does anything different on those F's, S's, T's, and D's.
Yeah. I definitely.
And plus, you mentioned a good thing too. Is the other thing that you can do is automate it off and on or whatever, or when it catches your threshold or whatever. So in spots like that where it's already been overmodulated in the recording and it's flatlining, you can simply raise the threshold so that it doesn't do anything, and then kick it back in, automated it off and on different spots like that, like you mentioned, Jason. That's a great idea.
Cool.
Keeps the life in it. Well, guys, we've been on here for a pretty good while. I think we covered a lot. We're going to cover some more. We ain't got to do it all in one hangout. So this has been pretty good, and I think it's be real helpful for a lot of people as well. Hopefully, Jason, it's been helpful to you. I know you couldn't really hear in real time what was going on, but go back and check it out and then try some stuff. And then when we get on the next time, let's see what happened, and maybe show some before and afters and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Bill, before we go, maybe I'll have to connect with you outside, but
yeah, definitely. Hit me and we'll work on that audio stuff. But go ahead, listen.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask.
But go ahead. What's up?
No, that's exactly what I was going to ask. We need to connect in, because there has to be a way where I could tap in, because I never have these crashes, but tapping into the HD rig would help me probably tremendously, maybe.
All right, cool. We'll take a look at that.
Yeah, and then the other thing that you can also do, man, is when you want to do it Hangout specific, just submix some of the tracks. If you you can leave the ones that we need to have separate, fine, but the ones that are just kind of, they can all be stereo, and because we're not going to go in that deep or whatever, just submix them. That'll free up a lot.
Okay, cool.
Yep. All right, guys. If anybody has any final stuff or whatever, say it now, or forever hold your peace. We're gonna wrap it up here. Everybody, cool.
What do you need to see my thank you, everyone. Don wanted to know my playback engine. What he wanted to see that.
Oh, okay. So, you want to show him? Yeah.
There you go. Just taking a note, I'm not on my HD rig, so I had to bypass the card at all times. So there it is.
Roll it down. Explain it a bit for an old man because I can't see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is just showing my playback engine. My hardware buffer size is maxed. I'm leaving a I forgot I had to change that. I usually leave a processor for my computer to operate. Sometimes this is a little bit lower, around 50%. And the delay cannot be done any larger because I'm at 44.1, so I'm maxed out on my sample delay. You mean the plug-in streaming buffer? This one is really basically for what is it? Structure.
Okay, you and Dawn are having a conversation on that, right?
I guess, yeah. Yeah, I could. 18 gigs. I could probably have expanded that one a little bit more. Maybe it would give me more.
Yeah, we'll try some stuff next time. This is just a process, so we'll mess around with a couple of different things and get it figured out so that we know.
Cool. But from all the feedback, everybody, I appreciate it.
Good job, man. Really though, you're very consistent. Your stuff sounds great, man. And like I said, this is just next level stuff now for you because you got it, bro. Stuff sounds great. It's always consistent, and so this is what separates people out there and takes them to that next level of, being like a handful of people or two handfuls of people in the world to get all the gigs. You're poised to be one of those people when you pay attention to just those little things that everybody else just kind of misses and just does a nice sounding mix. The feeling, when you get that feeling thing locked in and the right things going top to bottom and everything, that's the intangibles that lots of people that get stuck in technical don't think about, So this is why I always try to take you guys get back, because I think that really is the secret sauce from everybody that we admire, that we look at. That's what they do.
Yep. Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast then, and if you guys want to continue on the inside, I'll leave this where you can keep doing that. Okay.
Cheers.
All right. Thank you very much, Khaliq.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Good, guys.